first of all, community backlash doesn't really bother me. It's something that I've grown a thick skin for, because ultimately I adhere to a simple purpose that I believe you can share too. Is it the idea of, if someone disagrees with my take or the way I play the game, then they're going to have to actually prove to me that they have the capability of doing that, right? I'm not going to listen to someone complain about how many deaths I have if they don't even understand why or how I got in that situation in the first place, right? Getting it from my teammates, from my coaching staff, from everybody around me, and in amounts where it would be it would be too much perhaps, that would get into, like, that would start making me worry about my performance. But having a bad split or something like that, and having most of the complaints come from the outside, doesn't really matter if the inside doesn't think that that's a problem, right? If I don't think it's a problem in the idea of what I'm doing is the reason why things are going wrong, there are other factors that need to be considered. And my coaching staff, after I discuss with them, like, hey, this is the public view, what do you think, right? If both sides,
I get it, yeah.
But the thing is you actually kind of have to do this as a pro player, because
you have to do it. Content creators should do this as well, but they don't, sadly, mate. They read all the comments to get hurt. Yeah.
The thing is you have to do this as a pro player. You have to actually go to the people in your organization and be like, this is the public view, this is my view, what do you think, right? Like, what does the organization think? What do the staff members think? Like, is my coaching staff happy? And I think that this is the main way I battle the negative feedback, right? Like, this year, for example, I went to Mithy. I'm like, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what people are saying this is bad. Like, what do you think, right? Like, do you think I should be changing my performance? Do you think I should be changing my champion pool? Like, if people bring up issues like my champion pool isn't good enough, right?
Sure.
Then the only thing I can really do is use that criticism and actually ask the question to someone that would know whether or not my champion pool is good enough or not. And this can potentially light up an issue that they have, but they haven't been able to get, like, to present to me, right? Like, I don't know, maybe your coach struggles with telling you your champion pool sucks. Humans are humans, right? And no coach is perfect. And ultimately, I think that community feedback can be used in a positive way, which is why I don't think it's all that negative. Like, sure, people are really bad at giving it, but the skill is in filtering that in order that you can use it, right? That's something you have to learn for yourself. I'm sure you have that too. I'm sure Monte has had his times as a caster, you as an interviewer, you as whatever else you are at this point. You're a man of many talents, but ultimately, when you get that negative feedback, it's on you to filter and actually see, like, is there some relevance in what they're saying? Because there can be, and respecting that the possibility is there, that the feedback is useful, is all I really do, right? I just ask him, maybe he's right. All right, so let's take a double take. Let's have a look. All right, he's wrong. Well, fair enough.
The reason I laugh, though, I actually think that was a great point, by the way. That should be a clip on its own. I thought you said, this is the problem with Bwipo, though, Monty, is every time he comes on shows, he does an amazing job addressing criticism, but not dismissing it like that. He'll try and take, like, the point, like, okay, maybe I did make a mistake in this point of the game, or we could have played differently. And he'll do all this amazing, eloquent, like, it's actually, like, quite enlightened perspective, for quite a young player. But then here's the problem. So I get hyped. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start supporting Bwipo. I'm not going to let these fans just talk shit on him all the time. You know what? You Fnatic fans don't deserve him. He's better than you expect. And then I load up the game, though, right? And in the game, I become like, I will dominate. Watch it. He's fucking Griffin. Holy shit. What is he doing? Why is he? So, listen, that's the problem. It's the duality of man, Bwipo. That's the problem.
It is true. It is true. Like,
and also, like, you have to understand, these people are not interested in giving you legitimate criticism. Like, it's not their fucking life, dude. This is like what they do to blow off steam. We all have that one sport or whatever. I'm sure you watch sports where you're like, what the fuck is that guy doing? And, like, throwing shit at the TV. Like, I intentionally save, like, some sports or esports that I just refuse to learn anything about just because I want that release. Because it's like, I'm like, I want to be an ignorant pleb when I watch this. You know what I mean?
That's why I've got the new take for it. I just call them barbershop takes, because famously, especially in, like, urban communities, what they do is they just go in the barbershop, and the idea is, of course, no one's an expert about the sport. Like, the guy's the fucking barber, and then there's the guy, the butcher, and then there's your cousin or whatever. But that's the point. You're just talking shit, aren't you? It's like, oh, what did your team lose? Oh, the quarterback should be fired. Oh, they should get this guy. And the whole point is, you almost revel in how ignorant you are, don't you? You're just talking nonsense about it.
Exactly.
Like, it's fun. It's fun.
Exactly. I'm telling you, I literally do that. Like, I am a fucking professional analyst in a game, and I'm telling you, I intentionally engage in this behavior like first off, I don't do what the fans do, which is like take my dumbass opinions to Reddit or social media.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
that's a start. That would be a start, right? Like again, like backseat gaming in the backseat, I don't mind. You know,
or like
leave it in the seat, it's all right.
And I think that's what's good about like the sports Reddits is most of them are just memes and like hilarious takes about shit or just like witty comments, and then they just like downvote all the idiots, which because everybody's just there for the same purpose, which is just basically to have a laugh. It doesn't happen in the esports subreddit because everybody is also a player of these games, so they all think they're an expert. Whereas, like,
sure,
you know, most people aren't out there playing, 10 games of football a week like they are in League of Legends. Right?
Dude, you know my favorites ever. I'll just do the one mini rant because it's not even that it's like nonsense, but it's just funny. Because I always totally admit, because it obviously doesn't affect me. I don't care. I always say I've never even been vaguely high ranked in League. I think the most I might have ever been is like plat for like till I just got demoted instantly, I've never made any attempt. I just play Pike every single time, no matter what the matchup is, and just go, fuck, this is hard. It's like, I think that's fun. But here's what I have always
like
thought
his
is
teammate
funny.
Hillestad, it's fine.
Yeah, here's the problem. Well, the irony is, I actually probably ruin 9 out of 10 solo queue games because I watch Hillestad. Like, I start trying to do those split pushing games when he's losing stuff. Like, I can totally imagine. Every time I think I'm having fun, I'm sure there are 9 people in the server. Like, this is a nightmare. Why is he doing this? So anyway, here's the point I was going to make, though, is it's the people who are like, Thorin obviously doesn't even know anything about the game. Take a breath. They then give their thoughts, but they're like a fucking plat player, Monty, and they think stupidly that the delta between me and them is bigger rather than the delta between them and Bwipo. Like they think, like, well, I'm plat. That's like, it's like that far away. Or it's down here. It's like, brother, it's the other way around. I said this when that Malice guy tried going off on Amazing. I was like, listen, Malice, you might be hot shit in EU Challenger West, mate, but that isn't actually professional League of Legends. You've never played professional League of Legends. Like, you don't know actually what it's even like to sit on an LEC stage. You don't even know what the feeling is like. So when you then judge, like, Kadril was the best example. Like, you look at him and go, he's just garbage. It's like, mate, he's levels above where you are now. So if you imagine, well, I'm just that far. No, you're this far off. Like, because I always tell people this, like the difference between having just the basic skills and being a pro, that you've got everything to do yet, mate. It's not, you're not 99% with 1% to go. You're like 10% with 90% to go, mate. Like, that's the point. There's a million, and there's another thing. There is a million people who have solo queue skills. A million. But most of them will never be pros. Come on.
Yeah. I think that's all too true. Well, I'm glad you don't take that feedback too seriously, Bobo. So the next stage in your evolution is going to be not reading those comments at all, because you got past the point where they affect you. Now you spend 1 second thinking about whether they're accurate, and the next step is to spend 0 seconds thinking about them ever.
I actually disagree. I've always had this. I didn't develop this thick skin. I always had it. Like the day one I went on stage, or the day whatever. It's 3 years now. Like, oof, holy moly, 3 years, right? I'm not a rookie anymore. Still feel like one, honestly. But the point is that's what I mean. Like, I still feel the same way day one as I do today. Now obviously I've gathered a lot of experience. I'm not the same player. I've won. I've lost. I've gone places. I've stayed home. Ultimately, I think it does empower me because it allows me to be wrong. If I can admit that a stranger, silver player, gold player, platinum player, whatever he is, can be right about the criticism he gives me, then I can always, no matter what, find time for the criticism my staff gives me, my players give me, whoever I'm working with give me. And I think that's something that I never want to lose, because ultimately gaining criticism for the people, the right play. And this is a great take into what you mentioned, right? Like maybe Malice is not as far as you think off Kadril.